All right, all right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Travis with the Good Life Property Group, and I've been having some conversations the last couple days that I think are pretty valuable, and some lessons that, well, they're at the top of my mind, I want to share with you. So I'm going to talk about this in a couple different contexts, but we got right behind me the Good Life Property Group. Now, the Good Life Property Group is a brand. Now, there's been a lot of talk about brands right now, and people are very much, so to say, divided about a recent brand change. And a lot of companies are changing their brand. In the real estate world, people change brokerages. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about integrating the two of those things. And I really, really think it's important is what does your brand stand for? Now, we talk about Coke, Pepsi, just did a series on Toyota. Now, these companies are renowned because their brand typically stands for something. Now, over the course of time, some of these brands start to fade. It's very difficult to maintain some of the cultures that companies have built over the course of their time that they've been on this planet. And so you will see this, and I study a lot of different companies in various forms, but companies often have this trajectory where they will shoot up, they plateau, and then eventually they come down. And depending on where you are in that company life cycle, take GE for example. GE was one of the most renowned and well-known companies in the face of the planet. Now GE is kind of a mess, okay? Now, their leadership that they had was phenomenal. They had some of the best leadership on the planet Earth. And eventually, over the time, the leadership changed, the company culture changed, things changed, some economic headwinds blew, and all of a sudden the market changed. And if we just talk about consumer electronics for a minute, let's say GE versus LG. Now, I don't think anybody is going to debate the fact that LG has annihilated the competition in consumer electronics. They are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to everything. TVs, refrigerators. I mean, there's LG stuff everywhere, speakers. They permeate everywhere and they're in all kinds of different businesses. GE did some of the same things. And in their history, they made aircraft engines. They did MRI machines. They did all kinds of crazy stuff. They tried different things. Now, in the real estate world, I'm going to bring this back and we're going to talk about this brand thing. Okay. So, what does your brand stand for? Now, there's a local, well, there's a company, it's not local, but there's a company that they're known for a certain brand. It may be a balloon shaped brand. I don't know. I can't tell you. But um, that brand, people tell me all the time, I came here for the brand recognition. I got my Sweetwater shirt on today. Everybody, if you're in musical instruments, you know this company. This company is world renowned, I'll say world renowned for being a great company. Why is Sweetwater a great company? I used to work there. And when I used to work at Sweetwater, the very early days, I call him Uncle Chuck. He used to sit you down at a breakfast the very first day you were there. And he used to always tell everybody, I empower you to do whatever it takes to always take care of your customer, no matter what. Now, this is a kind of a crazy idea, to be honest with you. A lot of times when I heard him say that, I had doubt. But I saw time and time again this philosophy played out over and over and over again. And I saw him do so many things that I was like, that's ridiculous. I would never do that. But when you have a brand, maintaining your brand is a really big deal. Now, what happens when the brand changes? Now, brands have to change. And we've seen this a lot. Walmart, they just changed their logo at Walmart. Now, if you're a graphic designer, you gotta scratch your head and say, Why did they spend $500 million? Let's just throw out that number, $500 million to change their logo to literally a logo that is the same logo that they already had. It didn't change. Now, I understand companies are simplifying their logo for their digital presence, but check out my logo. That logo is baller. And I'm working on getting this all set up because you should also make sure you own the logo. It's kind of a big deal. Make sure you have actual ownership of the logo because if you're going to brand something, you're going to start putting it on things. For me, you know, when I changed brokerages, it cost me like maybe $5,000. Let's just throw that number out there to completely brand. I had to change everything, and I really didn't want to. I absolutely did not want to. But who I work for really, really matters. And we can talk about what is their brand. What's their leadership style? Now, I'm developing and evolving my own leadership style, but the founders of the company I work for now have got a we'll call it revolutionary thought process. It's called do more for your agents, which that's a pretty good brand. So why would I change, right? These are questions people are often asking me is because I want my brand associated with the right thing. And so it's very, very, very important to have this discussion and ask yourself, what does your brand stand for? The Good Life Property Group, we want to take care of our customers. We have a care model. We want to create a referable experience. If you do not have a referable experience with us, we have failed the client. And I often tell people, I come with the house. I'm not going anywhere. I may not physically be standing right there at that exact moment, but you can call me and I will always make sure that you get taken care of. So I think these things are really important. I had a really great discussion yesterday about brand, and I just wanted to share some of my thoughts regarding brand with you. And I want to know kind of what you think about it. What does your brand stand for, or what does your brand mean to you? Because it might be a little different. Everybody might have a little different perspective on this whole concept. And your brand may be that you want to be the hyper local. You want to know everything about your neighborhood. You want to know all your neighbors. You want to do all those things. My brand is actually going to be much bigger than that. Now, ironically, I have the state of Indiana on there for the Good Life Property Group. At some point, I have a vision that that's a national brand. I'd still probably keep it similar, but over the course of time, we're probably going to have to change the logo. This logo is probably only going to matter for a couple reasons. Like, number one, 1986. What is, I never know which way to point. 1986, what's the significance of that? Well, that's when I was born. Do you think anybody else that joins a Good Life Property Group is going to care when I was born? Probably not. At some point, we may lose that identity. I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. It's like established, right? And established is an important number. But what does your brand stand for? I just give you something to think about over the weekend here. And when we put that brand out in the world, are you carrying somebody else's brand or is it your own brand that you bring? Because this is another thing that I think is really important is ownership. This is why I've branded myself with this name because I have ownership of that thing. Uh, my former brokerage and my current brokerage, I have ownership in the brokerage. I own actual shares, which are in one case were publicly traded, in the other case are going to be eventually publicly traded. I literally own a portion of that company. So I can build my business, my actual business, and my legacy on top of somebody else's brand. This is, if you don't understand how this works, we'll call me and we'll do a TED talk on branding and who owns whose ship. Because if you don't own the ship you're on, you got to ask yourself, are you an employee or are you an owner? Because there's two big differences between those two. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. I hope you enjoyed this little mini segment here. I'm going to keep it short because I think this is a really important concept for people to grasp. And I hope you make it a great day. Just another thing, like, follow, subscribe, wherever you're seeing this. I really need your help. I do this for you. I love hearing myself talk, but I want to help make your life better. And I need feedback. So feedback is love. Please let me know what you think about this.